it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Boyz, Panties and Sports. The preseason drama is getting interesting thanks to Shedeur Sanders and his good performance, and Michael Parsons, the man in the trade but showing up. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, we got a very interesting show for us this morning. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And, firstly, before we get into it, I see that the NBA top 25 for the 21st century, had some things happen that kind of, I'm like looking at this list and I don't know, I'm thinking about it, but there's something now, I could get LeBron being number one and Steph being right there. Now, anybody up that top 10 slot, hey, they doing their thing. But I'm like, is Tracy McGrady and Anthony Davis, I'm looking and I'm going, they on somebody's top 25? So I don't know. And I guess my real point is that, the talent was so weak. They glad nobody could beat them out. But that's all personally,
So this is the next 21st century, and I can't believe they got Kevin Durant at number 8? Yeah, or 9. Let me see. No, they got him at 8. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that list in the future shows. But like I said, some people even making the list. I'm like, man, didn't somebody else beat them out? But okay, first, like you said, we got now this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Uncle Tadashi. Okay, I bet you I get that all wrong, but I'm sorry. And the Boyz. Plus, okay. Plus, we always say, it was better than last week. Plus, Sepsiss. Will they find their side star or get the cold feel of the mute button First Lady? We're ready. What you say? Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the plays of the week. Are we trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like the eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Micah Parsons isn't flapping loudly or chirping incessantly, but the Cowboys, in all their brilliance, have managed not to sign him. Is this a secret plot by the Cowboys to get a boatload of draft picks? Brian Schottenheimer says he feels Michael will be starting against the Eagles, but we wonder, does he know what he speaks of? One thing that is totally clear, this is Jerry's team, and he does what Jerry does. Have the Cowboys sabotage their season before it starts by creating an element of resentment amongst the team? Or is this simply a setup to explain Micah being the highest paid defensive player in the league? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking what you say. Yeah, Micah and the Cowboys remain far apart. Jerry Jones is standing on the fact that he and Micah Parsons came to a verbal agreement. Is Jerry off his damn rockers? You hold a meeting with a player without his agent to discuss contract negotiations, and now you don't want to talk with his agent to iron out a contract? This is so ridiculous. I really think the NFLPA, they need to bring charges against Jerry Jones.
they really need to do that. I mean, he is really stating that he set up a contract with Micah Parsons. I mean, this is the craziest thing I've heard. Now, of course, the Cowboys have sabotaged their season before it starts. I mean, they have alienated Micah. Everyone in the Jones family has spoken negatively regarding the situation. Jerry, his son Steven, now his daughter Charlotte has gotten into the mix. This is what she had the nerve to say regarding the contract negotiations with Micah. It does happen all of the time. Everyone deals with the same issue. We just happen to be on this stage of interest that is more magnified than most. She thinks it's business as usual, and they are no different than any other team. However, business as usual for the Cowboys, Jerry Jones' attitude about his Cowboys being an elite team and their high status often magnifies dysfunction rather than normalcy. There is nothing normal about this whole process with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have been here before, and they continue to be in this situation. Now, the Cowboys, again, they've been here before. That's why Brian Schottenheimer feels Micah will be starting against the Eagles. Unfortunately, these negotiations feel so completely different from Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Completely different. There wasn't any negativity from the Jones family regarding those contracts. I mean, right now, everybody in the family is speaking. And we all know Dak signed his contract the day before the season. So it did go into a long, drawn-out situation. But you didn't hear Jerry Jones or Steven talking negatively about Dak the way they have been about Micah. Now, what was interesting, Jerry Jones spoke this morning on Fox News, and they had asked him, was he near signing Micah Parsons? This is what Jerry Jones said. He said, Micah is a great player, not a good player, but a great player. He knows more than anyone that it's a team thing. And so I know everyone is tired of hearing this, but you got to put this puzzle together so we can have some other players playing out there with Micah. That's the art of the deal. That's why we're trying to get done, trying to make this thing work. We have all the appreciation in the world for what he can mean to the years ahead. We're proud to have him. Really? You are proud to have him? I mean, to be honest with you, what's been talked about in the media, that's probably the best thing he did say, that he was a great player. Not a good player, a great player, because really they haven't been talking, they've been talking negatively about him. But the thing that is striking is now the Cowboys are trying to save money. You're trying to save money after you've made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in the whole darn league. And he's definitely not even a top 5 quarterback. Micah is probably the best player at his position in this league, and you want him to take less for the team? Why didn't you make CeeDee Lamb take less for the team? Or Dak? I mean, to me, this is the first time that Jerry has spoken about the fact that he wants to be financially responsible, and for Micah to take less for the team because so they can put other players out there. My goodness, you should have all the other players that you already signed. I mean, maybe next year, but darn, why are you trying to pinch Micah? Micah is your best player, far more better player than Dak Prescott. And you are trying to make him take less. I'm sorry, Spitface. Something in the milk ain't clean regarding this situation, but it's quite interesting. What are you saying about this?
First Lady, I am bewildered, befuddled, and beginning to feel like I'm starting to go to pro Cowboys fans because they say it's kind of like they being bamboozled, and I'm like this. I put it like this: I do not believe that Jerry Jones believes his team will get to the Super Bowl and win, because he's acting like an owner who has a losing team. So you do these kind of, funky things. But you on a team where it's supposed to be, hey, look, the expectation is Super Bowl or bust because we got all this talent. We got the right players. But you ain't acting like it. And, so I don't have it that he has a lot of faith in Dak. I think he has it that Dak is a better version of Tony Romo. He can get all the stats in the world, but is not gonna. He's not gonna be the one that put it on my shoulders at the big time moment. He's seen that. Jerry Jones has seen that. He know he got a top quarterback, but he's a top quarterback version of Tony Romo. He just got better stats. And a lot of them stats came from, piling up numbers in runaway games against teams that weren't going nowhere and weren't going nowhere fast. So I'm, of the mindset that, they don't want Mike. They want to be able to make a big blockbuster deal and, and get a boatload of draft picks and be able to wheel and deal over the next couple of seasons. And because they have, growing up in Chicago, there's a baseball team. There are two baseball teams, but the Belgian type is one particular baseball team. Okay. The Chicago Cubs. And for years, they put out a product that was going nowhere fast. The Cubs weren't going to win nothing. The Cubs weren't even really going to be competitive. And they had a few, because of the way professional athletics is, every team is going to have some talented players who are going to shine. They're going to shine wherever they at. But there's not going to be enough around them to do anything. So what the Cubs did was they said, look, we know we got these losing ass teams that ain't going nowhere. Okay, but the Cubs figured out a way to keep the fans coming to the ballpark and keep the fans, watching the game. They could fill up the stadium with a losing record better than some teams who were like, in the playoff hunt. They're like, man, we can't get our fans to come out. The Cubs fans be stacking the stadium. And what they did was they said, look, we can't sell this team, so we're going to sell the nostalgia. Wrigley Field, the nostalgia, the Ivy, the best. They played nostalgia. You go into one of the original teams, the original, but all the, the baseball lure. Not that the team did anything, but the atmosphere and kids, all over the country, baseball fans wanted to, they didn't care about the Cubs. They wanted to go to Wrigley Field to say, I was at Wrigley Field. And that's how the Cowboys are. The Cowboys have learned that we don't need to win no titles. We just need to keep the soap opera going. That's all. This is the days of our lives. The Dallas Cowboys version. And that's how they roll. So, now, Brian, I know Brian being, he just he being a good soldier, falling in line. And, let's come on now here. Now, if Micah signs tomorrow, he may start for the Eagles game, but you ain't practiced. You haven't, I know he a bad man, but everybody got to take time to get themselves adjusted for that kind of competition. So, he'll do his thing, but I don't guess he'll be the difference maker in that loss, that whooping they're going to get from the Eagles. That's what I'm saying, per se.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's really unpredictable if Micah will be with the Cowboys. I mean, both sides have drawn a line in the sand, especially Jerry Jones, because his latest statement really makes you wonder that it's about money all of a sudden. And I just think the sides can kiss and make up. And the best thing for the Cowboys is to allow Micah to negotiate a trade with another team. And yeah, and let the Cowboys get a boatload of draft picks, because to be honest with you, that's what they need to do. They need to just let Micah go, let him go to a team that's willing to give him the money he wants, and you just cut your losses and you get draft picks and you rebuild your defense. Because right now, that's what's going to have to happen for this to end, amicably. That if it will ever, to be honest with you, I don't think it will. So, but they need to save face and let Michael go on about his business. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Okay. The days of our lives. Don't all them come back. I've been here for years, rocking my fears and put suckers in tears, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout performance by Khamzat Chimaev and his victory over Dricus Du Plessis to win the UFC middleweight championship at UFC 319. It was reported the result was one of the most lopsided 5-round fights in UFC history. All three judges scored it 50-44 for Chimaev, who set the UFC record for most total strikes landed in a fight with 529, compared with just 45 for Du Plessis. Max Holloway held the previous mark with 447 total strikes in his 2021 win over Calvin Kattar. Even though the scoring was lopsided, is the entertainment value greater than a match with the bum of the week against Jake Paul? By the way, Jake DizzieMac is working on a pay-per-view with someone who happens to not be over the hill. Not back to Chimaev. He has been dominated. Are we looking at a future UFC legend in the making? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking, what you saying? First Lady, he wouldn't put a whooping on the places. That is a whooping. I'm going for 5 rounds. You just getting beat up. So, hats off to Khamzat for his dominating. But Dricus, I got to give it to you, man. There used to be a commercial about a watch that took a licking and still kept ticking. And now, I don't know if they even still in business today, but after that whooping you took, I don't know if you still in business. Now, First Lady, he did have the title. Dricus had the title. So, he was no slouch at 23-3. So, he pretty much, earned his stars. But Khamzat just came in with they were talking about he was gonna do some wrestling, do more of the wrestling and all of that. He just came in and said, "Shoot, I'm gonna put on a Muhammad Ali on your butt," and just commenced to beating you down. And I'm like Khamzat is. Well, now Khamzat is undefeated. I think he goes to like 16-0, so he's undefeated. And I'm like, if you dishing out that kind of butt whooping, it's going to be a while before someone unseats you, and but for the competition to catch up. Now he is like in his 30s. But he's in the early part of his 30s. So over the next 2-3 years, he could solidify himself as a UFC legend. First Lady, what you say?
Yeah, I mean, he is a good fighter. I mean, but you know, when you think about the UFC, they continue to bring matches people want to see, even though the match was lopsided, but it still was entertaining. One thing about Dana White that he does, unlike they do in boxing, the UFC champions cannot rest on their laurels. They are always challenged by having to fight the next man up. The UFC champions are generally expected to defend their titles every 6 months or so. This is why the UFC has, to me, supplanted boxing as a bigger sport, because the events are fresh. You're always getting the best fighters fighting at the right time. Unlike a Jake Paul, who scheduled fights against unworthy opponents to pad his record. So the UFC is completely different. These fighters are expected to fight and fight boxers that are competitive. Yes, Khamzat Chimaev is a rising star with this gentleman has a very versatile skill set. He has, which includes powerful striking. Unfortunately, history in the MMA tells us that there are very few fighters that go their whole career unscathed. And can we witness a champion to reign forever? I don't think so. The only champion in UFC to go undefeated was Khabib Nurmagomedov. I can never say his name right, so I ain't gonna try to say, but we all know who it is. It's Khabib, the boxer that fought the bear as a little boy. Khabib, my son is in the UFC. My son he loves UFC. He's actually got me involved with UFC, and I remember Khabib because he was a grappler more so than a striker, like what's his name? What's the guy? Conor McGregor. So Khabib retired flawlessly. His MMA record was 29-0, including being 13-0 in the UFC. So Chimaev already has a 15-0 record. So maybe maybe he will not be dethroned anytime soon. But we all know it's very seldom does a UFC fighter goes without losing a match eventually. Sometimes they say that, well, they're too long in the tooth. You're right. He is 31 years old. So therefore he has about 4 to 5 years left in the sport. But at this present time, I don't see any middleweight UFC fighter beating him right now. There are some good middleweights out there, so we'll see if Chimaev is able to continue with his winning streak, because we're going to find out. Because like I said, in about 6 months, he will be fighting. Now, he's not going to be in UFC 321, but he'll probably be in UFC 323 because that's within the 6 months. So we shall see how long Khamzat Chimaev, how long he retains his title. But that's why I like the MMA fighting is more relevant today than boxing. Even though we got a great boxing match coming up on September 13th. And, I'm going to be in Vegas during that time, but I won't be going to the fight. Actually, I'll be leaving the day of the fight because we have Lord, I forgot the names of the fighters that's fighting. The Mexican fighter. Oh, my gosh. I can't think of his name right now. It was in my mind, but anyway, I'll come back later and give you the names because they got a great boxing match, and it's been a while since we've had a good boxing match. So anyway, but the UFC is definitely right now on top, and we'll see if Chimaev is able to retain his flawless record. That's all I'm saying.
All right. And the UFC has done a better job of keeping things competitive rather than
I'll say structuring it for individuals to get records. And that can be maybe that's what boxing needs to look at, that it's all about competitiveness and the perceived competitiveness by your audience, and so they got, because I don't think that the Jake Paul match between Gervonta Tank Davis is helping out the competitiveness in the world of professional boxing. First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break.
Well, I'll be honest with you, that's probably the best fight that he's fought in a long time. And the big match that's coming up on September 13th is Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. That is going to be a great fight in Vegas. Anyway, all right, Spitface. Like I said, that's going to be a great fight. And I'm going to be in Vegas, but I'm going to be heading back out of Vegas when that fight is on the way. All right, stay tuned. Up next, we'll have a performance from Uncle Tadashi and the Boyz on Shout Out Part 1.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Uncle Tadashi and the Boyz.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of Shout Out, we are featuring music from Uncle Tadashi and the Boyz out of Uwa Beach. And their hit album, Secret Moments. All right, DJ. Now, while I look at Uwa Beach, let's hear the title track from Secret Moments. Play that song.
Special moments, how I long to feel and be filled again. Again and again. So emotional, so indescribable. It needs to be bottled. No matter how hard I try to recapture the feelings that are more fleeting, something, somewhere, someone's just missing all the above. Oh baby, please baby, help me relive this secret moment. Secret moments. The perfect moment, the ambient, smooth piano player and special someone. Flowing conversation, whining and dining, keep it coming so dreamlike. Please give me another chance, don't you feel we're meant for each other? Soulmates for life's ups and downs. Remember our bucket list, so much to share and explore. Meet me here, meet me there, meet me everywhere. And took you for granted. Again and again, is it too late? Hope it's not too late for another. With each passing night, cold, lonely night, how I long for you. Oh, baby, please, baby, help me relive this secret moment. Secret moment. The perfect moment, the ambient, smooth piano player and special someone. Flowing conversation, winding and down and keep it coming so dreamlike. Please give me another chance, don't you feel we're meant for each other? Soulmates for life's ups and downs. Remember our bucket list, so much to share and explore. Meet me here, meet me there, meet me everywhere. Sharing special moments, secret moments, just for the two of us. Special moments, secret moments.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that you know, Spitface, I don't have to tell you this about this song. I've been playing it. Initially, when I first heard it, I thought everything was great. I love the lyrics, the jazz rendition. I did have a problem with her vocals in the beginning of the song. It was a little shaky to me in the beginning. But I thought as the song progressed, her vocals got better. And the more and more I hear the song, because I've heard it several times, and I like the song. It grows on you. That's a song that kind of grows on you. And I'm definitely going to shout it out. Like I said, the only critique is her vocals were a little bit shaky in the beginning, but that was just a slight shakiness, but it progressed beautifully. So I am definitely shouting out the song. Are you going to hit the mute, or are you shouting the song out?
Well, I'm, coming from a hip place, I'm going to go ahead and shout it out. And I think that part at the beginning is the kind of like the set that it's not quite so, as you say, so smooth, because it's supposed to, I think it's setting a mood. This is, secret moment. It's setting the mood. There's a little risk there. It's not, we ain't undercover spy, but we got that secret moment going. So I'm shouting it out. I thought it was a great cut. I liked it. But the one thing I want to know is, it's supposed to be Uncle and the Boyz. She don't sound like no the Boyz. So they should have gave us some kind of props,
Yeah, it makes you wonder. They probably a band, and like I said, Uncle Tadashi might be the jazz saxophonist. And I don't know. We'll have to further look into it. They only sent us one track. But anyway, on part 2 of Shout Out, we'll be featuring a performance by Sepsiss. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
It's water that moves, and we swimmer, missing a world of wonder. I never see.
All right, it's time for Flip It, where our host defend the view and flip the script and defend the opposing view. Many of the NFL teams have a cheerleading squad, and some even have male cheerleaders. These male cheerleaders have come under fire by some people who think they shouldn't be part of the NFL. The sin Male cheerleaders are acceptable in high school and college, but this is professional football. And if some of the fans are bothered, they gotta go. So we defend no male cheerleaders in the NFL. First Lady, I'm looking at the situation, and it really is a matter of I'll say that fans have become upset with the male cheerleaders. And the NFL does not need their fans to be upset with them. And you got a lot going on there. And you got the anti-wokers, them folks. And then you got the anti-DEI, and then the anti-anti, and about half of your audience is made up of people who fit in, or align themselves with those kind of views. Now, nothing against the male cheerleaders, they doing their thing, but they gotta go. They gotta go because the NFL does not need to have a hassle over this. This is not where the NFL needs to draw the line. And, it just ain't, we're going to draw the line for the male cheerleaders, but we ain't drawing no line for Kaepernick. It's kind of like, and I know it's been a while and out of view, but we're going to pick and choose when we draw this line. And for the male cheerleaders, we're going to draw the line. No. Guys, a lot of teams don't have cheerleaders at all because they don't want any kind of controversy. So I'm really going back in the day, having cheerleaders for football games, was like a big deal. You had the Dallas Cowboys and the Cowgirl cheerleaders, and they even had movies about them. But it's a different day. And then in professional sports, I'm going. They don't have to get rid of the mascot, but the cheerleader thing, maybe they need to just get rid of both of them. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. Please defend. Sorry, no male cheerleaders. It has become a distraction.
Now, we know, like you kind of alluded to, half of America is against the woke society. You have the President of the United States saying that the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. is too woke. I mean, really? So they talking about slavery, it's too woke, even though they tell the truth about American history? So do you expect these same people to like male cheerleaders? I don't think so. I mean, having female cheerleaders in the NFL, it's an institution. Let's face it, it is an institution. The Dallas Cowboys put cheerleading on the map. I mean, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were so popular, and they were female cheerleaders. They weren't male cheerleaders, female cheerleaders. The majority of them were blonde hair and white, but let's face it, that's just the way it was. But they put the cheerleading on the map. Not only did the viewers want to see an American team, but they wanted to see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Yes, having male cheerleaders is a major distraction. It's not the norm. People don't want them in the NFL. We have to understand that. I mean, it's still a male-dominating type of situation, even though more and more women are becoming fans of the NFL. But these men come here. They want to see the girls at halftime. They want to see the girls in between quarters. They don't want to see any men cheerleading. See, they just don't want to see that. And that's just the way our American society has been. And like you said, we got half the people that are against the woke society and half the people who are for more advancement and equal rights of everybody. So as far as the NFL, people don't want it, they're going to say hell to the no. That's it. Spitface has all I'm saying.
All right. Well, this is flipping. We had to flip the script. If the team and their city are happy with male cheerleaders, leave them be. Defend, leave them be. I'm looking at the situation and I'm like going, why is this a problem? Why? And, I went to high school. I went to college. I have seen some, cheerleading isn't just about, women in short skirts jumping up and down where you can imagine because you see them do splits and stuff like that. And to me, you're dirty-minded folk, and that's really what it's about. It's some dirty-minded folk who sexualize everything while projecting that others are doing that. The male cheerleaders, I've seen male cheerleading competitions. And I haven't been an athlete, but I've seen athletes who you think being able to do those flips and do all the acrobatics that they do is not a skill or something. Oh, try it, but better yet, have your kid that's sitting on the couch playing video games try it, but leave them be. It has, why are these folks sexualizing? Because that's really the deal. What you're trying to say is that, if they're a male and they're a cheerleader, they must be gay. Hell to the no. Why are y'all putting that on these guys? Like there's something to do with that. There are men and I go manly men who do things that, in their activities, hobbies that, maybe majority women actually do. But they like that thing, that hobby. That don't mean all of a sudden, well, you don't got girls. No, come on. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. First Lady defend. The biggest baby on the planet is a whale. Except for the self-righteous folk who can find a problem with anything. The male cheerleaders are not a problem.
Well, of course they're not a problem. I mean, I don't even know why this, like you said, why this became a problem. It became a problem because I guess in Minnesota, their team created some video gearing up for the NFL season, and they posted a gentleman on their team. I think they have 2 male cheerleaders. And yes, they posted them on the video, and people went crazy on the internet. I don't understand why, because there are other teams that have male cheerleaders. Approximately, according to the Vikings, 1/3 of the NFL teams have cheerleaders. You have the Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Philadelphia Eagles, and the New England Patriots, of all people, have male cheerleaders. And don't forget the Washington Commanders. And the Carolina Panthers, they actually had featured the first openly transgender cheerleader. Her name is Justine Lindsay in the NFL. So 2020, this is 2025. The NFL is changing its norms and the old boys club attitude. We have women referees, women coaches. Allow the men to be cheerleaders. This is America. We're always changing and accepting our differences. And like you said, I mean, the whole thing about women, being sexualized and all this, and yes, the woke is, they talk about this woke society. No, this is America. People can be whatever they want to be. And if men want to be NFL cheerleaders, so be it. It is nothing wrong with having men be cheerleaders because you got it in high school and college. So why can't it be in the NFL? I don't understand what the big issue is of having a male cheerleader in the NFL. The NFL is changing. 50% of, I think it's at 50% now, of women watch the NFL. So guess what? We can have male cheerleaders on there that we can look at and we can root for. I mean, so many years, it's always been about women. And like you said, Spitface, women in the short skirts running around. That is why the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders became so famous. However, this is a change, and America will always be America because we are going to change regardless of what people think because of the fact that we are in America and we celebrate our differences. Allow the men to cheer.
All right, First Lady. High school, college. It has never been a problem. And they have had male cheerleaders in high school and college forever. ever. Okay, First Lady. Over to you for more flipping.
Aaron Rodgers has not been so bad a man the last couple of seasons. We wonder, will the bad man be the bad man or simply bad? Spitface defense. Father Time has snuck up. Aaron and his season with the Steelers will simply be bad.
First Lady, oh man, River, just keep on rolling. Aaron Rodgers is that old man River. You know, he just keep on rolling and Father Time and roll to the butt. I commend Aaron Rodgers for wanting to go to a team and and go out. I want to say go out on top. Like I think he's like, look, I don't want my career, the end of my career, to look like my tenure on the Jets. I don't think he want to go out like that. And he knows that Father Time has caught up with him. The little injuries, I won't say little injuries that when you're in your 20s, you bounce back up after a couple of days. When you start being in your 40s and later, you don't bounce back the way you did. And I don't care if taking the right nutrients and doing the right exercise programs or whatever. The healing process alters over time. And Aaron has to look at, he has a team whose offense hasn't really shown that they're too much better than the one that he just left, and a lot of improvements did not get made. So Aaron will not do a Tom Brady. He will not come into the Pittsburgh Steelers and have and play like a top 5 NFL quarterback. He will not. And not in AFC North, not when you playing the Ravens. Twice you got to deal with them and the other competition the Steelers get to have, the Bengals. You're not gonna be able to I'll say take it on the chin like you could a couple of years ago. So Aaron, I hope that you have a good season, because I get, you want to go out competitive. You want to go out with you want to do a Tom Brady, go out with a Super Bowl ring. Hey, I got that Super Bowl ring. Maybe I'll play another year, and then let me exit before the real falling off the cliff happens. But man, you're at that point where, especially with the injuries that you've had, with a cliff, you're about to get pushed over. That's what I'm saying, First Lady. Father Time has got him.
He said you're about to get pushed off the cliff. And when they said that about Tom Brady, but Tom Brady never got pushed off the cliff. Never got pushed off the cliff. So, but, the Steelers are going to prove that they should have drafted Shedeur Sanders. I always like Mike Tomlin. But this time, having Aaron Rodgers as your starting quarterback will set this team back. He's going to be worse than Russell Wilson. I mean, let's face it. Last year, Aaron Rodgers had a very underwhelming performance with the Jets. He had career lows in yards, only 6.7 attempts, his highest sack total since 2018. He only had a 6-12 record. So why do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be good now? And like you said, he's long in the tooth. He's 41 years old. He's coming off a 2 years history of a torn Achilles. I mean, his durability is not there. His ability to perform at a high level now is not there. And on top of that, he has a new team with a new coach, offensive coordinator. And, Aaron Rodgers likes to have his own people, and he likes to play a certain type of way. And Arthur Smith is going to play his way. So this is going to be new to Aaron Rodgers. So I just don't see Aaron Rodgers really having a great year. And to be honest with you, he's only going to be there 1 year because the Steelers they should have drafted. Maybe they'll trade for Shedeur, but it's something that he needs to really try to see what he can do. And it's not going to be pretty, to be honest with you. It's just not going to be pretty. And I just feel sorry for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Actually, I don't feel sorry because they should have picked Shedeur. So, but they chose Aaron Rodgers. And matter of fact, it was rumored that Aaron Rodgers didn't even want them to draft Shedeur because he didn't want that pressure. But anyway, Mike Tomlin will be lucky if he has a winning or tie. He's never had a losing record with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This may be his first year of having a losing record. All right, Spitface, we're going to flip it. It is Aaron Rodgers. Okay, let's flip it. Aaron Rodgers had a couple of injuries slowed him down, but one, he got healthy. He was playing good football. Spitface, defend. Aaron will rebound and be that bad man one more time.
He got something left in the tank. He got a little bit left in the tank, First Lady. He got some fire still going. He obviously did not come back for the money. And usually, I'll say that's a big factor. But Aaron, it's not that he didn't need the money, because we can all use the money. And he can certainly use the money, but it's a factor of, do I still want to play? And do I know that I can play at a level where, one, I'm competitive, and two, I got a shot? Because otherwise, why am I coming back? I can chill out. I can do my Zen meditation in the morning. I don't have to deal with with all that goes into the game. So, the last 2 years, actually, he's just been hurt. He's been hurt, and the Jets were not that good an organization. But what he did show once he got healthy was that on a team with a bad offense, I'm not even going to say mediocre, a bad offense, and with personnel but not the right coaching, I think he did the best that he could, and he on a different team, the work when he got to really play on a different team, that team would have been competitive. And I think that's what he saw. Now, Pittsburgh has some holes, but they're a good team. They got a good defense. And at this point, game management and ball control will win. And that occasional, hey, look, but yeah, we need you to carry us a little bit. See, Aaron is not going to have to carry the Steelers every game. And that's not the way they work it out. Now, he'll be doing a little less gunslinging, but the important thing is that, the Steelers know how to grind it out. And Aaron can go, look, you know what? I may not be able to, for 3 downs, be slanging the ball, but I can do it for 1 down. Now, if I'm doing it for 1 down, instead of 3 downs, well, that's a lot less stress. And yeah, we'll play the grind it out game. And you know what? At the end of the game, let the ball be in my hand. And that is what the Steelers are saying, hey, look, we will grind it out because we got that kind of defense. And if our offense does not give the other team the ball, and we got Aaron Rodgers who, hey, he will, do not let him have that ball and the clock is running down. We can win a lot of games because we will keep it close. So we will see Bad Man Moon Rise. One more time, First Lady.
Well, I mean, you see Bad Man will rise again one more time. Yeah, let's face it. We all know Aaron Rodgers has some issues. He's declining. He has mobility issues. But I still think he's an upgrade over Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith's offensive scheme. And when you look at the Jets offense compared to the Pittsburgh Steelers, last year now we know the Pittsburgh Steelers did not have a great offensive team. But this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers have definitely improved their offensive capabilities. They got DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin III. He's basically took a improvement in his second season. Then you also added Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Jonnu Smith is a good tight end, and he's perfect for Arthur Smith's offensive scheme. And, the one thing about Rodgers, he's going to have some red zone targets, and that's perfect. And it is going to be a grinded out type of game with the Pittsburgh Steelers because, of course, they rely on their defense to keep them in game. And if they can get at least great quarterback play, it's a possibility that they can go further than they did last year. They started off real well last year, and then, as we know, Russell Wilson phased and fizzled at the end, and they lost several games in a row. But like you said, Aaron doesn't need to do too much because Arthur Smith is going to run the football and throw these short passes. Again, this is going to be a different type of offensive scheme for Aaron Rodgers, but it's going to be much better for him than the schemes that he had in New York, because Aaron Rodgers thought he had great receivers in New York. He didn't, and that's the reason why they didn't do well offensively. But Aaron Rodgers is not going to be able to dictate the offensive scheme because Arthur Smith is going to be in control, and I think that's going to be an asset. And I think all he needs is to be a reliable passer in this offense. And we all know that he is laser sharp when it comes to passing. And so I think that's the one thing different between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was very hard for him to stay in the pocket because, he's small and, he's very small. He's not tall like Aaron Rodgers. So, it was hard for Russell to see over the defense. He needed to move around. That's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a great pocket passer. He has that poise to stay in the pocket. So this is going to be a good move for Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's going to be a good move for the Steelers. I think Steelers are going to be able to get into the playoffs, and the main thing, they're going to win a playoff game. That's the key for the Steelers. They're not going to win a championship, but they haven't won a playoff game in years. So I think that's what the goal is, and I think that bad man is going to shine for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right, on the other side of the break, we have a performance from Sepsiss on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers. Please, please, please.
welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. On the second part of shout-out, we are featuring music from Sepsiss out of New England. And so, you know, they just got the whole thing. We got Massachusetts. We got Vermont. We taking over the whole area. Okay. Out of New England, and their hit album, Uncross My Heart. They say Sepsiss is a multi-award winning, female-fronted, hard rock metal band from New England. We are a unique and high-energy band with the goal to help re-energize and unite more people to discover rock and music culture. All right. Let's hear the title track from their hit album, Uncross My Heart. All right, that was Uncross My Heart, and I'm shouting it out. It was a pretty nice little rock heavy metal tune. It wasn't all wild and woolly. And the young lady sounded like she had a pretty nice voice, you know. Kind of took me back to some old Pat Benatar. First Lady, what's the verdict? Is Uncross My Heart getting a shout out of the mute button?
Well, you know, I'm not into heavy metal rock. However, I'm going to give it a shout out. I think the female vocal was on point. They could have done. I thought that was a male vocal I heard in there a little bit, but a couple of parts. But anyway, I'm definitely going to shout it out. Definitely going to shout it out. It was, you know, I'm not into rock, but it's okay for rockers. I'll shout it out for them.
All right. Well, this is the end of shout out for this week. You can check out Uncle Tadashi and the Boyz plus Sepsiss on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. And First Lady, over to you.
All right, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
Okay, I am just biting my nails, wondering, and I'm up late at night and walking back and forth. Micah Parsons, and being the highest paid defensive player or traded for a sack of picks by the Cowboys. It's coming down to the wire. A move got to be made.
All right. Well, speaking of moves that got to be made, my top story to watch is the Cleveland Browns. Are they going to keep 4 quarterbacks to start the season? I mean, who are they going to trade? Or who's going to get released? That is the $1 million question. Now, if I got to make a choice, I think it's going to be Kenny Pickett. But we shall see. We shall see. And I want to give a shout-out to Lisa Thomas on the WNBA. She is the career leader in triple-doubles in the WNBA. She's already had 20 triple-doubles in her career, including 5 triple-doubles in the 2025 season alone. And she is the all-time leader in career triple-doubles. So shout out to Elisa Thomas. All right, check out our current and previous episodes at Bras, Panties and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. See you next week.